So, greetings to all of you. We are pulling on from where we ended last time. When we met last time, we talked about digestion in the stomach, and that's what we are adding on to digestion in the stomach. But to take you back previously, this remains teacher Dr. Mgombo Ronald taking you through the series of digestion. Consider to subscribe, like the YouTube channel, and share with your colleagues, those who think will benefit from the video. So, to take you back a little, previously we talked about the esophagus, and I would like to take you back. We talked about how the food moves across through the esophagus as it is going to the intestine, to the stomach. I said the esophagus is a tube-like structure that links the pharynx with the stomach, and it carries the food to the stomach. And we talked about the fact that it is made up of a series of longitudinal and circular muscles which carry the food by a process that we call peristalsis, which is rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the smooth muscles in the esophagus. So then finally, after the food has gone through the esophagus, it goes via a small sphincter that is known as the pyloric sphincter, that is found in the at the upper end of the around here, the upper end of the stomach. There, that is known as the pyloric sphincter. So the pyloric sphincter is it opens and allows food to enter into the stomach. Now, when the stomach is usually a large sac of smooth muscle where a number of chemical processes take place, especially chemical digestion, though we also have some kind of physical digestion. So according to chemical digestion, we have usually secretion of a number of substances produced from the gastric glands, like mucus. Mucus is very important when it comes to lubricating the walls of the stomach and protecting them against the corrosive action of the hydrochloric acid that is produced in the stomach. Hydrochloric acid is very important. It is also produced from the walls of the stomach. We talk about it as well. It is very important when it comes to activating the enzyme known as pepsin. On top of hydrochloric acid activating pepsin enzyme, hydrochloric acid as well provides a suitable pH for this enzyme to work. Hydrochloric acid also gets rid of the bacteria that might have made its way into the stomach if it was not destroyed by the leukocytes we talked about that are present in saliva. So it can also be destroyed here by the hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid, we have said, activates pepsin from its inactive form known as pepsinogen. It also participates in the emulsification of fats. Emulsification of fats is the breaking down of fats into smaller droplets, but not chemically digesting it. So the pepsin is very important. Pepsin is very important when it comes to breaking down proteins to polypeptides. On top of that, we usually have mechanical digestion of food as a result of the churning action of the stomach. When the smooth muscles of the stomach contract, they go ahead and churn the food, and when they churn the food, they go ahead. So when you look at mechanical digestion, it involves contraction of the smooth muscles of the that make up the stomach walls. On top of that, so it makes the mixture that is found within the stomach now is known as chyme. It usually, when you look after a few hours, in fact, sorry about that, the upper sphincter that allowed the food to enter the stomach is known as the cardiac sphincter, and the one that allows the food to empty into the duodenum is known as the pyloric sphincter. So having looked at the digestion in the stomach, that can take us now to the intestines, or the small intestines. Now, when you look at the small intestines, there are a number of things that take place, ranging from the process of digestion to absorption of food. So when food enters, the first part of the small intestine is known as the duodenum. The first part of the three parts of the small intestines is known as the duodenum. After the duodenum, we go to the jejunum. After the jejunum, we finally go to the ileum. So those are the three parts. Almost all the digestive enzymes usually enter the intestines. It is very important to note. And most of the chemical digestion and absorption of nutrients takes place in the small intestines. Now, digestion is usually completed in the small intestines. That is where complete digestion of food takes place. Remember the starch that was digested in the mouth. Not all of it was digested in the mouth. Some of it remained. So we have a series of enzymes known as pancreatic enzymes. These enzymes are produced from the pancreas and they are usually poured into the duodenum and they carry out final digestion of food. Take an example of what we usually call pancreatic amylase. Pancreatic amylase is very important in ensuring that the remaining starch in the food is fully digested. We have another enzyme known as pancreatic lipase, which is very important in completing the process of digestion of the lipids to their constituents known as fatty acids and glycerols. On top of that, we also see complete digestion of the polypeptides into peptides or amino acids that are going to be absorbed into the bloodstream. We also see maltose. Maltose, there is an enzyme known as maltase which participates in the conversion of maltose to glucose. So that's all that is usually happening in the duodenum. So it mixes with the fluids and the enzymes from the pancreas and the liver, which I have talked about. So the pancreas is very important because it produces certain substances called hormones that regulate blood sugar levels, but I've talked about the pancreatic enzymes, like the ones that break down the proteins, the lipids, nucleic acids, along with some carbohydrates like starch and maltose. It also produces sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate is very important in creating a neutral pH. It neutralizes this acid that was from the stomach. The food comes from the stomach when it was having a lot of hydrochloric acid. And yet the enzymes which are produced from the pancreas and the liver, which work in the duodenum, work best in an alkaline pH. So as a result, usually they would be denatured, but glory be to God, we have sodium bicarbonate produced from the pancreas, which neutralizes this acidic pH. So you can see that the pancreas, its location, you can see it clearly where it is found. It is located, it is in contact with the duodenum and it makes its secretion into the duodenum. You can see that clearly here. So you can see clearly that it is draining into the duodenum. And this is the inner part of the duodenum. It drains, it makes its secretions into the duodenum where final digestion of food takes place. So today we have been looking at the process of digestion of food in the stomach and the process of digestion of food in the ileum. And we have noted about the activity that we have talked about gastric secretions in the stomach, and we have also talked about gastric juice secretions, including pancreatic juice, including gastric acid and the enzymes known as pepsin, which is usually activated from pepsinogen in the presence of acid. So then we have talked about pancreatic enzymes which are produced in the pancreas into the liver. So thank you so much for listening. I remain teacher Dr. Mugomba Ronald. Have a good time. We meet next time. Consider to like the group, the channel, subscribe and share with your colleagues.